It's hard to believe that Easter was just 1 week ago. Jill and I had quite an Easter going to our sunrise service, the two services here at BBC, and then driving to New Hampshire and attending a service in Ukrainian that our son Greg was preaching at. It's hard to believe that was just 7 days ago. And as we were driving and talking about different things that Easter Sunday, we spoke about the passage at the end of Luke's Gospel that's known as the Road to Emmaus. And Jill made the observation, you've never preached on that on Easter Sunday, and yet it's actually an Easter Sunday scripture. And Jill is right. The Road to Emmaus is found in Luke 24, verses 13 to 35. And it begins in verse 13 by saying, now on that same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem. So that comes right after Luke's encounter at the tomb with Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary, the mother of James, and the other women who witnessed the resurrection, according to Luke. And so it's on that same day as the two disciples are leaving Jerusalem. They are walking away, if you will, from their responsibilities as disciples. In a sense, they are going back towards life before Jesus rather than forward in life with the risen Christ. And we're told that the risen Christ appears and joins them on the road, although they don't recognize who he is. And he said to them, what are you discussing with each other while you walk along? They stood still looking sad. And they said, are you the only stranger in Jerusalem who does not know the things that have taken place there in these days? What things? He asked them. And they replied, the things about Jesus of Nazareth. And then they go on to tell Jesus about himself and what happened to him, as if he doesn't know. And it's interesting because they say the things about Jesus of Nazareth, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people. Well, that's not a fully accurate statement. Yes, Jesus was a prophet, but he was much more than a prophet. And they talk about how he was handed over and condemned and crucified. And we had hoped that he was the one to redeem Israel. Well, he did redeem Israel. So anyway, their conversation goes on, and then the risen Christ challenges their understanding of him, which is only partial and it's incomplete. And I want to close with the verse of the day, which is in verse 32, which is after they walk and they compel him to stay and they share a meal. And it's at the table when he took bread and blessed and broke it and gave it to them that their eyes were opened and they recognized him in the breaking of the bread, much like the Last Supper experience. And verse 32 says, they said to each other, were not our hearts burning within us while he was talking to us on the road, while he was opening the scriptures to us? And again, that's a key thing that Jesus does for all of us. He opens the scriptures to enable us to see Jesus more clearly and to recognize him at a deeper level than just the visual in our heart of hearts. I pray that God's Spirit would burn within you this day as you journey on with Jesus.